Story 1. The Empty Boat. One day, two Zen monks were traveling together. They came to a wide river, and by the riverside, they saw a young woman dressed in elegant clothing, seemingly distraught and unable to cross the river on her own. The elder monk approached her and asked, "Why are you troubled, my dear?" The woman replied, "I need to cross to the other side, but the current is strong, and I'm afraid I will be swept away." Without hesitation, the elder monk said, "Fear not, I will carry you across." The woman gratefully accepted the monk's offer, and he lifted her onto his back. With skillful steps, he waded through the rushing water and safely set her down on the other side. The two monks continued their journey in silence. Hours passed, and the younger monk became increasingly agitated. Finally, unable to contain himself any longer, he burst out, "How could you carry that woman on your back? We monks are not supposed to have any contact with women." The elder monk smiled gently and replied, "Brother, I left the woman by the riverside hours ago. Why are you still carrying her in your mind?" This story reminds us of the importance of letting go and not clinging to past experiences or judgments. It teaches us to embrace the present moment fully and not allow unnecessary burdens to weigh us down. By releasing attachments and freeing ourselves from the past, we can find true peace and tranquility. Story 2. The Buddha and the Scorpion. One day, as the Buddha was walking through a village, he came across a group of people gathered around a scorpion that was trapped in a thorny bush. The scorpion was desperately trying to free itself, but with every attempt, it ended up getting more entangled in the thorns, causing itself pain. The onlookers were hesitant to help the scorpion due to its venomous nature. They feared that it would sting them if they tried to rescue it. However, the Buddha approached the scene with compassion and a peaceful presence. Ignoring the concerns of the crowd, the Buddha gently reached out his hand towards the scorpion. Miraculously, the scorpion ceased its struggling and crawled onto the Buddha's palm. The Buddha carefully removed the scorpion from the thorny bush and set it free on the ground. As the crowd watched in astonishment, one person asked the Buddha, "Why did you save the scorpion, knowing that it could have stung you?" The Buddha smiled and replied, "The scorpion acted according to its nature, and I acted according to mine. Just as the scorpion stings, it is my nature to show compassion and help those in need." The story of the Buddha and the scorpion teaches us the transformative power of compassion and the importance of acting with kindness and understanding, even in the face of potential harm or negativity. It reminds us that each being acts according to its nature, and it is our own nature to cultivate love, empathy, and goodwill. By embodying these qualities, we can bring about positive change and contribute to a more compassionate world. Story 3. Three Monks. In a remote mountain monastery, there lived three monks who dedicated their lives to the practice of Zen. Each monk had a different approach to their spiritual journey. The first monk believed that strict discipline and rigorous meditation were the keys to enlightenment. He would wake up early, meditate for hours, and adhere to a strict schedule throughout the day. He believed that through discipline and intense effort, he could attain awakening. The second monk, on the other hand, focused on the study of scriptures and philosophical teachings. He immersed himself in books and engaged in intellectual discussions with fellow monks. He believed that by expanding his knowledge and understanding, he would gain wisdom and enlightenment. The third monk took a different approach. He spent his days engaged in various chores around the monastery. He would sweep the floors, tend to the garden, and cook meals for his fellow monks. He believed that by practicing mindfulness and being fully present in each task, he could cultivate awareness and find enlightenment in the simplicity of everyday life. One day, a traveler passing through the area sought shelter in the monastery. Intrigued by the different approaches of the monks, he decided to engage them in conversation. The traveler asked the first monk, "How do you seek enlightenment?" The monk replied, "Through discipline and rigorous meditation. I strive to control my mind and transcend the distractions of the world." Impressed, the traveler then turned to the second monk and asked the same question. The second monk responded, "I seek enlightenment through the study of scriptures and deep contemplation. By expanding my knowledge and understanding, I hope to uncover the truth." Finally, the traveler approached the third monk and asked, "And how do you seek enlightenment?" The third monk smiled and replied, "I seek enlightenment by being fully present in each moment. Whether I'm sweeping the floor, tending to the garden, or cooking a meal, I strive to do it with complete mindfulness and awareness. In these simple acts, I find the path to awakening. Upon hearing these answers, the traveler realized that each monk had found his own unique approach to the same ultimate goal: enlightenment. Each path was valid and had its own wisdom to offer. The story of the three monks teaches us that there are multiple paths to spiritual growth and enlightenment. It reminds us that different individuals may resonate with different practices and approaches, whether it is through discipline and meditation, study and contemplation, or mindfulness in everyday activities. What matters is the sincerity, commitment, and wholeheartedness with which we pursue our chosen path. In the end, all paths lead to the same truth.